it sounds really horrible, but I pity people. I pity people, how people have become. How do I look?
You look fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much. So what did you say?
The question was, has anything tonight shifted in your thinking? Before and after?
I try to learn in everything. Not just saying because cameras on me, but I think these things are constant involvement, aren't they? This is why we do it essentially. You've been doing it more than me. Brownie points to you, but yeah, I think it's just that little bit every single time, isn't it? And I think that's the whole point of talking about trying to create more spirituality in the world, and actually trying to break down those barriers, trying to increase just being a good person and just doing good things in your small community. And so yeah, it definitely has shifted. I just went, no, we don't need religion. I think it's sort of anti-spiritual because you're straight away saying, no, I don't need it. You're saying, I'm better than religion. So it's part of that evolution of, does it still apply? Does having a long beard make you a good Muslim?
Why do Muslims have a beard?
Because they want to imitate the Prophet Muhammad.
Why did he have a beard?
Well, because it wasn't as easy to shave as it is nowadays.
But I would question that. I didn't question it.
Well, unless you know any different, tell me, please.
Only because the reasoning behind it from the reported hadith was to differentiate yourself from other religions who used to grow the moustache really long. I think possibly the Persians grew the moustache really long, and the Romans did shave the beard off completely. So people could shave their beards back then. And he said, we'll be different, we'll grow the beard and we'll trim the moustache. But I don't know, and I don't think it's important in terms of being a good person, but
does it make a difference in terms of whether you're a good Muslim or not at the end of the day?
But if you judge religion like that?
No. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You can't judge someone and say, oh, why have you got a beard or why haven't you?
But the thing is, in this country, in this culture, people look at you, they say, why have you got a beard?
Yeah.
But the natural way is to have a beard. A man will only not have a beard if he chooses to shave it off. So the default is to have a beard. That is, we call it having a beard. It's just being a normal man.
Yeah.
But choosing to shave your facial hair is a modern trait or a Western trait or whatever. People would say, why would a man make himself look like a woman?
But also, what has that got to do with religion? Like, if it's not Muhammad or Baha'u'llah or Jesus describing how a soul progresses in this world, why would it refer to if religion?
Well, Muslims believe that the Prophet instructed people to grow the beard and trim the moustache to differentiate themselves from other religions at the time, so that a man could be recognised as, he's a Muslim, I guess.
But if we're talking about communities uniting, why would... And I know we're focusing on Muslims here quite a lot, just because it's something in my head. Yeah. Why then would that person then say, well, I want to stand out and make myself look really obvious as a Muslim? Why would I not want to try and break down those barriers between Muslims and non-Muslims, for example, and just blend in?
Well, then why don't you drink as well?
Yeah, that's something that's not...
It's not harmful.
It's not. I'm not walking around with a sign on my face. Does that make sense? So that's the way I'm trying to look at it from sort of both sides. Yeah, you could say.
I mean, equally, if you lived in a community, the Amish, for example, also grow a beard, and I think they trim them as well. So if you were a Muslim living amongst the Amish, you wouldn't stand out as a Muslim.
No, you'd just be brown
by doing that. But the point of what people call the fitrah, or the natural inclination, is that it is natural for a man to have a beard. The hair here is just natural, and I always find it.
And that's all that being hiding.
Would it be natural if you never shaved?
Well, Sikhs never shave, for example.
I suppose it's just very fair, isn't it? We're digressing.
We see the world from our default position. Like even today, we were saying, people are becoming less religious. Look at the way less people are going to church. But probably more people are going to the mosque. If you go anywhere in the Middle East, everyone is still religious. Whether they get the point of it, maybe they've thrown the water out and kept the baby, or vice versa. They might only be they might just recite the prayers 5 times a day, and it's only the words, and they're just reciting it, and they're not feeling it in their heart. But the majority of people in the world identify with some sort of religion. Russia was atheist for 100 years. It was compulsory. Church was banned under the Soviet Union. When it collapsed, church has come back overnight. And Vladimir Putin, who was sat down at the World Cup today, one of his closest advisors is the top bishop in the Orthodox Church.
Exactly the same time. So it's like you literally see advancement in this spiritual sense where waves of things are changing.